Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign in amateur radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'd like to welcome you back to your solar weather update for Friday, November 11th, 2022. First, a look at the A1A. There is a new sunspot region coming there about 8 o'clock. You see the two little lights. Those are sunspots and look like they're going to be coming into view and named by tomorrow. Also, take a look at 10 o'clock. Take a look right there. Another sunspot region coming. But what's going on really in the center, north center part of the sun is making news right now. If we take a look at the backside of the sun, there is the square that shows those two sunspot regions that are coming for tomorrow. 3141 is a sunspot to keep an eye on. It's been very, very active, and our SFIs have definitely improved because of it. Coronal holes, nothing facing Earth. That means a very low solar wind coming our way and great conditions to work your radio. I can't stress enough. This is such a special day to work your amateur radio or listen on shortwave. A little note from SolarHam. This talks about sunspot region 3141, talking about develop a beta gamma delta magnetic configuration, and the instability within the lead section of 3141 is very important, could be big. Numerous mid-level C flares and two low-level M flares, and that's good, have been detected within the last being an M1.2 at 1140 UTC today. So this is a very increased sunspot region, and possibly an X flare is going to come from this. If it happens, that could have a very detrimental circumstance to our ionosphere, could cause a solar blackout for us here. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we get an X flare our way, that could be something that might impact our propagation. 3 days of solar flare detection. There you see those two M flares coming from 3141 and an increasing radiation level from the sun. Little dip right now, but it's going to come back. We should have good conditions. Current conditions are SFI 139. That's up 1 from yesterday. Expect this number to go up again today, and then most likely stay pretty stable the next couple of days. We have enough sunspots in the northern hemisphere to have some really good conditions. Smooth sunspot numbers at 79. That's down only 2 from yesterday. Area number is up 65 now to 750. That's a very good number. Your KP index, this is noise floors. Look at this. Quiet as can be. Perfect conditions to work 40 and 80 meters overnight. Here's a better look at the 3-day geomagnetic forecast. This is noise floors around the world. KP3 today, that's going to be, S1, S2, and then tomorrow and Sunday, down to an S0, S1 for noise floors. Good conditions. Right now, KP index currently at 2.33, so just below that active stage on the sun, but we should see this lower as the day goes on. Real-time solar wind, only about 361.2 kilometers per second. And it says with the current speed, it'll take the solar wind 69 minutes to propagate from the Discover spacecraft all the way to Earth. BZ latitude, this says positive 8.55. However, it is negative just a little bit right now. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Sunspot cycle 25. Here's where we're at, and this is updated for October. We've already reached the peak. If you take a look at the Solar Flux Index there on the bottom, that's your SFI. We've already reached the peak of what NOAA forecasted this sunspot region this sunspot cycle, I should say, to do. So already hit the maximum and only going up from here. Your sunspot numbers also very close to what the peak was forecast for in late 2025. I'm going to modify my forecast. I said it'd be 9 years of the sunspot cycle. Based on how this is going up, I think it's going to be 10. So I think we get 10 years out of the sunspot cycle until we hit the solar minimum. QRZ, today, SFI 139, sunspot numbers at 48. There's your BZ latitude, minus 0.8, little bit of QSB on the band today. Look for fade. It's not going to be too bad. We'll hit positive numbers here as the day goes on. Solar wind, 361.2 kilometers per second. EME moon bouncers get fair conditions today, and your HF conditions are much, much better than this. Let's look at maximum usable frequencies worldwide, and we'll give you a good idea of where things should be. Current Kilo Charlie 2 Golf map is filled with yellow. That means 10 meters. Closer look at the northern hemisphere. Look at this, how tightly the bands are arranged from east to west. This was earlier today, and you could see most of Europe was on 10 meters plus. And then North America, 10 meters early in the day, already at 28 megahertz there in Denver. And as it heads west, it goes very quickly onto the 10-meter band. Yesterday, from Anchorage to the south tip of Argentina was on 10 meters. Here's the southern hemisphere, same conditions, 10 meters throughout South America, except for the northern part of Brazil, which is at 25 megahertz North Brazil. Africa, all the way 10 meters, but that's, the way things have been. Southern hemisphere, 10 meters. Northern hemisphere as well, lots of 10 meters. Heading towards the south, we'll take a look at the southern hemisphere real quick, towards Australia and Japan. Japan currently at 13 megahertz. Australia, Darwin, 31 megahertz. Heading down towards the east coast of Australia, 21 Brisbane, 21 Sydney, 17 Tasmania, 19 if you're in Perth. And I believe all of this area today, as the sun comes up, within a couple of hours, going to be on the 10-meter band. Current conditions, here they are. Now we see that the sun has departed Europe, but still good conditions, still on 15 megahertz for the most part in Great Britain. Heading towards France and Germany, you're on 17 meters. Heading towards Portugal and Spain, still on 15 meters. Good conditions, nighttime right now, if you're in Europe. Your ham and shortwave forecast for today. It's been a while. Glad to be back with you guys. SFIs to remain stable through Sunday. Noise floors S0 to S2 today, staying below S3 through Sunday. Voice bands Northern Hemisphere 20, 17, 15, 12 in the 10-meter band. Equatorial latitudes and the Southern Hemisphere, same thing. 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. An excellent day for amateur licensees to work the world. Data modes, good, 30 to 10 meters in all latitudes. Even 11 meters is open for CB skip. You'll get good conditions, north, mid, and south hemispheres. Nighttime amateur radio bands, noise floors, S0 to S2 today, staying low through Sunday. Nighttime amateur radio band openings, 160, 80, 60, 40, 30. Your best DX is on your maximum usable frequency at sunset. They go down to your lower bands of 40 and 80 meters overnight. You'll make some excellent calls with low noise floors today. Shortwave bands daytime, 31, 25, 22 in the 19-meter band. Shortwave nighttime bands, 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and the 19-meter band. Open in the southern hemisphere about 90 minutes after sunset, and the signals will fade away. Noise floors on shortwave tonight, great. S0 to S2, going to be a beautiful night for you to be on your shortwave radio. That's it. We're coming back with a full ham radio live show, Famous Amateur Celebrity. We're going to do famous amateurs to end the show with the topic question of if you had the chance to either work a famous amateur or have worked, meaning someone's an SK, a famous amateur, who would it be? Looking forward to seeing you today at 20 UTC. Until then, God bless you wherever you may be. Goodbye, everybody.